I started to struggle with Christianity.
Sure.
It never made necessarily logical sense to me that a human could be God. Now I know God can do whatever, but then I just started looking at the Bible, and from what I've read, I've only seen that Jesus ever says he's a subordinate to God.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind if I engage this young man. My heart goes out to you because you said subordinate. So my assumption is you're assuming that if Jesus is subordinate to the Father, he cannot be equal to him in nature. Well, that does not follow, right? I mean, I'm going to give you a human analogy, but I'm going to give you from Scripture. You're subordinate to your father, aren't you?
Sure.
So are you less human than your father?
No.
Okay, so notice you're making what we call a categorical error. You're confusing categories. You can be subject to one and yet equal to him in another sense. So you're subject to your father in terms of authority, but equal to him in nature. So the same scriptures where Jesus is subject to the Father are the same scriptures where Jesus claims things that only God can claim, which even the Quran acknowledges. But I'll give you another example of what I mean. Now, Avery has to open up the Bible for you to see it. Subjection, subordination does not imply inferiority of essence and nature. You can have two parties who are equal in essence, but one subject to the other. So if you open up from Luke 2:51,
All right.
I'll show you that. Now here, look what the text says. Jesus in Luke 2:51, and he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was submissive to them. Submissive, subject to them. No one would think that because Jesus is subject to Mary and his adoptive father, Joseph, that he's less human than them. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now with that out of the way, let me show you statements where even the Quran, because you are a Muslim, I'm assuming, right? Because Yusuf, you convert Islam?
Yep.
Okay, let me show you where that same Jesus then claims things that even the Quran acknowledges only God can claim. So, Avery, if you can open up the Quran, chapter 22, verses 6 and 7.
So it says, that is because Allah, he is the truth. And it is he who gives life to the dead. And it is he who is able to do all things. Verse 7. And surely the hour is coming. There is no doubt about it. And certainly Allah will resurrect those who are in the graves.
So I want you to pay attention that the Quran says it is Allah who will give life to those who are in the graves. He'll resurrect them, Yawm al-Qiyamah. And Allah is the truth, al-Haq. If you've ever studied Sunni Islam, which is the predominant sect, doesn't mean they're right. You have what's called Tawheed al-Asma wa Sifat, meaning that there are certain characteristics and names belonging uniquely to Allah. One of the 99 names of Allah is Al-Haq, the truth, the reality. Like right here in verse 6, he is the truth. This is why in Islam, no God-fearing prophet can be called Al-Haq, the truth. You won't find that anywhere in the Quran where that is ascribed to anyone but Allah. But now, notice, Jesus, who's not the Father, remember, Allah gives life to the dead. He is the truth, and he'll raise them from the graves. He's going to go to John 5. He's going to start with 21.
All right. So it says, for as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, so also the Son gives life to whom he will.
So right there, not the Father, but he can do everything the Father does, such as give life. But now watch the connection with Surah chapter 22, Surah Al-Hajj. Now read John 5:25.
Yep. Truly, truly, I say to you, an hour is coming and is now here, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live.
Now read 28:29.
Yep. Do not marvel at this, for an hour is coming when all who are in the tombs will hear his voice and come out, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, those who have done evil to the resurrection of judgment.
So if you had read the Gospels, my question to you is, how is it that here Jesus, not the Father, does everything that your Quran says only Allah will do? Allah is the truth, al-Haq. Allah will raise the dead from their graves at that hour. Jesus says, that's me.
I don't take the Bible as a proper...
No, Yusuf. You're not going to run with it. Because what was your argument? Now, I'm going to now nail you against the wall because this is what you did. You're the one who said that when you read the Bible, you see Jesus as subordinate.
Right.
By you now attacking the authority of the Bible, you just admit that, yes, if I accept the Bible, Jesus claims to be God in the flesh. You just change your argument. So which is it? What do you want me to address with?
Well,
Do you at least admit that Jesus claimed to be God?
he has the power to bring back people from the dead.
That's not the argument. Repeat the argument. On the last day, the day of resurrection, Yom al-Qiyamah, both Old Testament Quran agree, God and God alone will raise the dead physically from their graves. That's the argument. I didn't say to raise the dead. Yet here Jesus says, he on the last day, he by his voice will raise the dead physically, and then he's going to judge them. On top of that, Jesus claims to be the resurrection and the life. John 11:25. Those are also names of Allah. So deal with the argument. Someone ask it again. Can you show me anyone in your Quran, even in the Old Testament, besides Allah, who says, I am the resurrection, the life, the truth, and I will resurrect the dead on the last day?
You cannot find no one in the Old Testament nor Quran now.
So can you now admit, at least, for argument's sake, what Jesus just claimed is something only God can claim?
I could agree to that, yes.
Okay, so then that means you got your answer. Because your original question is, you don't see the Trinity. You see that Jesus subordinate to the Father.
All right, so Jay, do you have a question concerning Tawheed, man? Something that you would like the Muslims to make clear to us? You're welcome.
I was thinking about a different approach last few days, because this seems to pop up a lot where everybody just sort of assumes that we know what it means to be, quote, monotheist. How do you know what monotheism is?
Monotheist, how do we know? Is God told us that in the Quran that he's one and there's no one beside him. So for us, monotheism is about the oneness of God.
Okay. Now, aren't there other things that he says about himself, though? Like other attributes, other names?
Allah's got at least nine names mentioned in the Quran. The ones we know.
Okay, so 99. I mean, that's more than one, right?
That's more than one. That's right.
How does that 99 relate to the one?
First of all, the oneness of God and the 99 names, does not mean Allah is a multiple names or multiple parts, whatever. He's got different names, but that doesn't separate him from his oneness. Okay, it's like you having multiple names, but you are one alone. That's it.
Whoa! Wait a minute though. Because I'm a creature though, right?
Yes, you are.
I have parts.
You have got parts, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, do those names and those attributes, does that characterize me as a creature made up of composite parts?
Well, your body parts are part of you, so they can be separated from you.
Oh, okay. Now, but in terms of Allah and his attributes, you said they're not separate, right?
Well, Allah's attributes are part of him, basically.
Oh, wait a minute. Now he has parts. So Allah has parts.
Well, yeah, that's parts. That's part of his nature. It's not like parts like.
Oh, I thought you said he's one.
It's not like that. Well, of course, Allah is one, no doubt about
Okay, so
that.
something that's one in terms of what you're talking about with divine simplicity or unity, doesn't have parts. Something that has parts is composite.
Allah has got parts, yeah, but his part doesn't separate from him.
Oh, so but I thought he was one.
Of course, he's one. One means like he's one alone, even though he's got a feet, he's got a shin. Yeah, these things don't separate from him. Okay, it stays one like that. It's not like me and you.
Are these parts eternal?
I think you can allow me to finish, but yeah, they are eternal. Yeah.
Okay, so there's 99 plus parts with the shins and everything else.
Look, the body parts of Allah and his nature, the nature that's like within him. The body parts are the body parts. They don't separate from him, and him has the authority of everything alone. Basically, this is what makes Allah to be one and unique, one alone.
The point is just simply that on the original definition of Tawheed was that he's alone, one, and now it turns out, well, he's actually composed of a bunch of parts. But if something is composed of parts, to me that suggests that it's a created thing. How can Allah be one and simple if he's composed of parts?
because his parts don't come off from him. It stays with him forever.
It doesn't matter whether, I'm not saying they come away from him. The point is that you've already admitted that there's 99 plus eternal composite entities. How is that not polytheism?
No, it's not polytheism.
How is it not?
Because the names of Allah, yeah, are his names. Okay, they're attributes.
So you just restated your position. How does that answer the objection?
Okay.
It's not polytheism, yeah,
because it's not.
The names of Allah, yeah, are his names. That's how it's not polytheism.
So that's a circle.
No,
yeah,
I said not only his name, but they're also part of him within his nature. For instance,
you're
Allah
restating your position, right? That's restating the position again. But I'm
CP. Is that you?
First, shalom, everybody. Peace of Christ to all of you.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that this Muslim, he defeated you all. He just said I don't. He just said I don't know. I say he did not. He just said I did not say that. He just said yes, they fight, but they did not fight. He just everything you say to him. Muslim is a potato. It doesn't matter what you throw at him. He play with it. It's like he's playing football. You will never get an answer from a Muslim. So you say to him, is your God Allah have a hand? He will say to you, yes, he have a hand, but not like yours. But who care if it might like mine or like a camel? It is a hand. So the Muslims always they play game. Allah is no one like him, but he forget and he get angry and he is learning and he don't know and he think the sun set in murky water and he think that the baby is coming from the backbone and he think that women have ribs where the sperm of the women coming from and he think that there's hail in the mountains in heaven. Allah break it and throw it at us. And he think, I mean, I can continue forever, but remember, Allah not like us because Allah is so stupid. We have to agree. Human being is a smart human being, a smart creature created by God, a true God. But Allah, which is created by the pagan Middle Eastern, a name is exist centuries and thousands of years before Muhammad. His name is La, not Allah. They claim no one like him. I have to agree. And at the end of the day, you are defeated. Thank you for inviting me. But always my advice to Christians that Muslims, they never give an answer. Instead of giving you the answer, they ask you a question. So you ask him about Allah have a shin. He say, you know, his shin is not like yours. But, you know, all of Islam is based on a human being figure when they speak about their God. He is, first of all, a human being, generally speaking, he is smart. We can prove in 2 seconds that Allah is not smart. And that destroys all the logic of anyone is saying that Allah is God. Because you cannot be God and stupid. Have you ever heard of a God? He think that a human being is created from a blood clot, and the blood clot grow and became a flesh, and the flesh become bones, and then he closed the bones. This is how God he created a human being. Have you ever heard of a God? You don't speak good Arabic, as if he is a Zakir Naik from Bangladesh saying, brother Christopher, first of all, you are wrong and you are making mistake, and Allah did not say that. So you ask them a question about Allah. Okay, Allah is the creator. Is it possible that the creator he say, I am the best of the creators? I mean, are you stupid in language too? You cannot say I am the best of the creators if you are unique. And what is unique about God, that you are the creator. So how Allah the creator, he is the best of the creators? We know the story. Muhammad, he copied a guy, his name is Abdullah ibn Sarah. He put it in the Quran, and that make him in big trouble. So I say to our Muslim friend here, we have creator, not the best of the creators. You have the best of the creators. So either you have to admit that your God don't speak good Arabic, as all of you, including your Prophet Muhammad, or you have to admit that there's many creators. However, even your Quran says that the Messiah is creator. So we Christians, and the Quran says actually, how you worship someone, he cannot even create a fly. So the Quran put the rules of who you can worship and who you cannot. So if Jesus can create a fly according to your Quran, then we should worship Jesus. This is not the Christians saying that. This is not anyone. This is chapter 22, verse number 73. So anyone who can create even a fly, he is worthy of worship. So now we have a proof that Jesus, he can create not only a fly, a bird, and a human being, but there is no proof that Allah can create a mosquito, because the creator, and we have a proof he cannot be, because the creator, he do not know how the mosquito created. He do not know how the baby is created. He fabricate knowledge which is a stupid knowledge. So I say to the Muslims, you are doomed. خلق الله آدم على صورته. Allah, he created Adam in his image, his own image. Yeah, the Muslim, they try to fix it. They say, oh, he meant that he created Adam in the image of Adam, which is the most stupid interpretation. I mean, you want to tell me that Allah, like Allah created CP in the image of CP? I mean, do you see how stupid the story? Muhammad, he copied exactly what it says in the Bible, that God created Adam in his image, and in his image God created him. So Muhammad, he took it, he put it in his in his book, and now the Muslim, they try to fix it. How Adam is created in the image of Allah? The only solution is to say, well, you know what? He don't mean that. He mean description of Adam, but he said it clearly. خلق الله آدم على صورته, and then he continues saying that he created him 60 arm tall. And that make it more stupid too, because why Adam is 60 arm tall, but we are not even 6 foot tall? That is the most stupid story Muhammad he came with. Did we shrunk? Did Allah force us to shrunk? Like, is it cold? Is it because of environment? Do you Muslim believe in evolution? What do you believe? So the Muhammadan, they have fabrication of everything, and they try to give you an answer for any question by not answering it. And this is the hadith. Let me post it for you. You can put it on the screen and people can see it. Sorry?
This right here, right? On the screen?
Yeah. I mean, there's many format of the same hadith, but all of them, they are saying same, that Allah created Adam in his image. And not only that, the God of Islam in the Quran, he said that the similarity between Jesus and Adam, he said to him, be, and he was. But then when we check, we find that neither Adam, neither Jesus, according to the Quran, are created by saying be, and he was. So Allah, in fact, he made mud statues of Adam, and he left him to dry for 40 years. And Shaitan, during that time, he went inside Adam from his nose, and he came out from his ink. And then, I mean, we can show the reference. And in the top of that, and the Shaitan, he told the angels, don't be scared of him, for he is empty from inside, but for Allah is full. So Allah is full. So Shaitan, what is saying, that Shaitan, he tried to go inside the anus of Allah, but he could not, because he is full. In the top of that Adam who is created in heaven took him 40 years just to create, to dry his mud to become a statues. Allah, when he started breathing into Adam, he breathed into him, but he could not finish him so fast. So the Quran says, وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. The human being was ever hasty. If you read the interpretation, even Ibn Kathir, it says that Adam, when Allah, he breathed into him, he tried to stand up, but he could not. So he asked Allah to finish him before the sun set. He said, Allah, oh Allah, finish me before the sun set. And then here we ask ourselves, how the Quran says, he said be, and he was. And then Adam in chapter 17, verse number 11, saying, finish me, Allah, before the sunset. Don't ask why Adam and how Adam he knew about the sunset. I mean, the guy is just in the process of creation. How he knew the sunset is going to set soon. But Muhammad, he can tell whatever story. And Allah, who is almighty, he said be, and it was. He could not create one thing in the Quran. And here we have Muslims there. You can ask them later. If he can show us, any Muslim can show us, one example of Allah creating anything by saying be. As you see, Adam, took him centuries to finish Adam. In the case of Jesus, he have to throw his words down, and then have to send his spirit, and his spirit then breathe into Mary private part, and then 9 months after we have Jesus. So where it was be, and it was. So all is a fabrication. The Quran cannot stand its own verses. And the Quran itself says, If this is a book made by other than Allah, you will find in it a lot of contradiction.
Wow.
Okay, this is cool and all, but like, can we try to keep it respectful?
Oh, he's been as respectful as he's just telling the
I
truth.
mean, this is a lot of like, Christian Prince's own interpretation. He's added his own.
He quoted Ibn
Christian spin on
Kathir and
this.
the other
No,
scholars.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how he chooses to describe things is disrespectful.
He's using the scholars to do it and the hadith. He didn't come from his own self. He's quoting the scholars.
When he says breathing into the private parts of,
That's what the verse says.
Arabic.
And the scholars say.
that's not what's in the Quran.
Yes, it is. 66:12. Ahsanat farjaha. Farj means her private part. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much for having me. And the Muslim is asking us to be respectful. He called us pigs. He called us monkeys. He called us najis. He called us kuffar. The Quran called us. Don't be like. I can show you a reference. Don't lie. I can show you a reference. And when you speak about respect, go and teach your God how to respect Mary, and don't say he breathed into her vagina. What kind of God? He is a vagina breather. Your God, he is a vagina kisser. And is that how you create? Is that how you create anyone? By putting your mouth in a woman? And the Muslim, they try to translate by saying, oh, he breathed into her sleeves. Since when the vagina in Arabic, farjaha, became a sleeve? Nice to meet your sleeve, brother. Take care, guys. God bless you, and thank you for having me.
God bless you, Chris.
Take care. Bye-bye.